Welcome back to another episode of Extreme Metal Television. I'm your host, Dr. Gore. And in this show we get to sit down with Finnish folk metalers Korpiklaani, and a little bit later we get to speak with Edmonton power folk metalers Shadowblade. And at the very end of the show, Corporate Death from Macabre shows up for a little terrible tale from the road. But why don't we just get things rolling with a band profile.
Viathyn was formed in 2006 in Calgary, Alberta, Canada. Their debut album, The Peregrine Way, was released in 2010. The band explained to us their creative process.
Well, I'd say, we all kind of listen to a whole bunch of different styles of music. I don't think any of us really even listen to power metal anymore, even though that's sort of the largest aspect of the music, I would say. I'd say the new stuff is probably a lot more symphonic, so I don't know, we kind of just listen to whatever and all get together and some of the riffs are way too progressive, some of them are way too cheesy, and then we kind of just sift them out and find some middle ground that everyone agrees with.
Where did the name come from? It's an interesting name.
We were just throwing out some words, and we kind of figured it would be neat to have something that you could just find without, not having a real word. I think it came from Viathyn, and there's like 100 bands called Viathyn. And honestly, I might have to give my sister credit because she said, "How about just Viathyn?" Yeah. She keeps saying that. So.
Before
so
that,
I
think
credit,
we were briefly called Veritas, and then I think there was another band in Calgary called that. So we kind of liked the 3 syllables starting with a V theme, so we just sort of continued on, and it's a made-up word, so you look on Google, it's the only thing you find. It's easy. There's no confusion.
Makes sense.
So what's next for Viathyn? You mentioned new music, so are you working on a new album, anything like that?
Yeah, we got two new songs that we're playing tonight, and a sort of tongue-in-cheek cover from a video game. So
What's that?
we're playing a song from Zelda. So. But we're writing right now. We've got we're playing 2 new ones that are completely ready with backing tracks and the full symphonic element as well. We've got probably the skeletons of 5 or 6 other songs at least outlined. They'll definitely change, but I think we'll probably spend the next 8 months or so finishing everything up, and then we'll probably try and hit the studio.
Soft goal would be to have it ready for next summer, so we can play shows next summer with all new CD release, all that stuff.
Can't wait to hear some more music from Viathyn. And hey, you guys want to check Viathyn out live? They're going to be playing right here in Calgary on December 17th at the Distillery, alongside of Sam and Drail, Vile Insignia, and myself and Dr. Gore's band, Gales of Avalon. Yes, some shameless self-promotion right here, folks. It's going to be Gales of Avalon's CD release party on the 17th at the Distillery. I'll mention it again. Hey, you guys want to come by and grab a CD? That'd be great. And hey, if you can't make it and you still want to get some of the music, you can head over to galesofavalon.bandcamp.com, and it's a pay what you want download. So what does that mean? It means you can download the album for free if you want, and but if you'd like to give us some money, you can also do that too. And it's as much as you want or as little as you want. So go by galesofavalon.bandcamp.com. That link is going to be in the show notes, and check it out. Korpiklaani are currently on the road in North America, and we caught up with them when they stopped here in Calgary a little while ago. And now word has it that the band was in the studio just before they hit the road, so we asked them when we could expect a new Korpiklaani album.
That won't be out until next August. Yeah, the original scheduled time to go to studio was in January after this tour, but we participated in this contest in Finland, and we had to record one song, so we entered the studio just because of that thing. We entered the studio way before we were supposed to, and then while we anyway set up all the drums and stuff, so we ended up recording all the drum tracks for the new album at the same time anyway.
No, I read that many of the songs on the album are, no, I'm going to butcher the pronunciation of this, guys, are based on Kalevala? Is that it? Yeah. Now, can you explain to us what that is?
Kalevala is a Finnish national epic. It was a collection of old poems and songs and whatever. That's originally collected in the early 1800s and released in 1820 something, I think, 28, I think.
Then again, we used the same book as a base of the lyrics before also.
Yeah.
So it's not the first time, but maybe this time more or less. I think they all except 2 songs based on Kalevala.
Yeah, previously it was more like an inspiration and that kind of source for the source for the stories, and now it's more parts are taken directly from that and then just arranged a bit for the music.
Korpiklaani have released 7 albums since 2003, almost an album a year. We asked the band what keeps them creative, working at such a frantic pace.
Just a need to do this.
Yeah.
It is not doesn't feel like work or doesn't feel like a hobby. It's some kind of more like need to do. Because I like it, songwriting and somehow it's very easy. The songs just pop up and it's easy to put album out every year because we have enough material to do it. So.
Yeah, that's what I thought was really impressive and what I always enjoyed about the band. It's like there's a new album every year to look forward to, and a lot of bands don't do that.
Anymore, actually.
Yeah, I know they used to, like especially in the 70s and even in the 80s. There was,
yes.
You expected an album every year from a band. You don't see that much anymore.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. They are lazy, everybody else.
Is there going to be a Korpiklaani DVD anytime soon? I know there was one put out with an album.
Yeah.
I have that, but is there going to be another full-on DVD done?
We've had an awful lot of bad luck with that.
Yeah.
We have been filming the shows, we have been recording the shows, and there's always something stupid happening with those. Sometimes we end up having a picture but not the sound, and then the other way around. We've had these plans for at least like 3-4 years now, and just I guess that is just not meant to happen.
This is a question from one of our viewers. Gavin wanted to know, do you have a favorite North American beer?
I actually like the stuff that the Brooklyn Brewery, what they do. They have some nice beers.
Budweiser.
There we go.
Bush. Me too.
Edmonton, Alberta's Shadowblade began in 2006 and released their debut full-length album, Frozen Serenity, in 2010. Guitarist/singer Yasho Kalowski wrote and arranged the album himself. We asked him how he approached such a daunting task.
It was a long piece of work that took a long time to get together, and you know, the writing on the album comes from about 2.5 years worth of stuff that I'd done, and eventually I had finally enough material after so much time to put together an album, and it was literally just like day and night recording and writing, you know, just go to school during the day, studio fucking immediately after, like 6-7 days a week for months, 3 months or so. So it was a lot of work.
The album's been out since last year. Yeah. So, what's next for Shadowblade now? What are you guys working on?
Well, been focused on playing shows and just promoting the album. That's been what we've been doing since. Trying to get it heard, remotely everywhere. Tom went to Japan last month. If you care to indulge.
Well, basically just got to play the album in a metal bar.
Yeah.
And the response was very Scandinavian. That's the closest thing to Japanese accent I can do. But it was pretty cool. It was a lot of fun.
It must have been an interesting experience, I'm sure.
Yeah, well, they, it was a really weird scene there, so it's kind of a very small group of guys sitting in a very small bar and listening to lots of really good metal, actually.
Shows. I've got some songs being written for another album already. Like, I'm not working really hard at it, but every now and then, I pick up my stuff and just hit the record button, and so stuff's coming along.
One thing becomes evident when listening to Shadowblade is that they pull influences from a lot of different sources. There's folk elements, symphonic elements, and death metal influences in their sound as well. There's a lot there to get the listener's attention. We asked the band what goes into creating their unique sound.
I've been listening to so many different kinds of metal over the years, and now recently, over the past couple of years, all kinds of music. So I'm getting a bunch of influences from different kind of progressive scenes and kind of blending it. I'd say one of my favorite musicians, I think, is Ari Lucasen. He does Arion, like Guild Machine, Star One, all those projects, and he has this concept that he takes behind music where he doesn't limit himself to 1 or 2 or 3 styles. He literally does whatever he wants and somehow makes it work into really good music. So I don't know. I take that kind of ideal and just kind of write whatever I want.
Alright, that is going to do it for another episode of Extreme Metal Television. I'd like to thank all of you for checking it out, and I'd like to also thank my co-host King. Now, if you wanted to drop us a line, you can send us an email to the address at the bottom of the screen, and before we let you go, we're going to leave you with a terrible tale from the road. Here's Corporate Death from Macabre, and until next time, see ya.
Blur after a while for me, just like remembering what I did last night's a big blur sometimes, but I don't know, I've had people come up and say, if I kill people, will you write a song about me? Or people actually come up to me and say, I've killed people before, or stuff like that, so you get some strange characters in there sometimes.